Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation by Abby, Mariana, Trevor, Ty, and Eric. Have you ever heard of Martin Luther? Not King Jr., but Martin Luther from Germany. Martin Luther entered this world in Germany in 1483 on November 10th. His parents were Margaret and Hans Luther. Martin entered school when he turned 7, like all of us. He went to a school in Mansfeld. Years later, he went to the University of Erfurt. Martin received his Master's of Arts degree in logic, rhetoric, metaphysics, and grammar.
Did you ever wonder what the Protestant Reformation was? Well, it was a major turning point in history. It did not just affect religious life in Europe, but also affected social political institutions as well. Martin Luther believed that Christians could only reach salvation through faith in God, and didn't believe the Pope or other priests had possible powers. Martin Luther said, "To be a Christian without prayer is no more possible than to be alive without breathing." He believed there was power in prayer and every man could obtain it. The church corruption. By the 1500s, the church was mostly wealthy and powerful institution in Europe. There were many church leaders. They lived more like kings than priests. That big.
Only one secretly devouring themselves. How many pots did they get?
He said, "If you have faith, the believer cannot be restrained. He betrays himself. He breaks out. He confesses and teaches the gospel to the people at risk of life itself."
Martin printed a pamphlet called the 95 Theses to help spread his ideas about changes he wanted to happen. Then the printing press helped more people to have access to books and also the Bible. In 1505 of July, Luther got caught in a terrible thunderstorm. He cried out to St. Anne, "Save me, St. Anne, and I'll become a monk." The storm stopped and Martin was saved. Martin kept his promise and became a monk. He did not get along with the church. Martin Luther thought that the church was corrupt. Here are a few examples. The Pope said that he was the sole authority in the Catholic Church, and Martin believed that the Bible is the ultimate authority. The church said priests have special powers to administer sacraments in the Mass, while Luther said any Christian can administer sacraments and lead church services. The Catholic Church said saints can intercede and help people pray, but Luther said that prayers should only go to God. Lastly, the church believed that your faith and good deeds led to your salvation, whereas Luther believed Christians can only reach salvation through faith alone. This is called Protestant Reformation. As Martin Luther once said, God writes the gospel not in the Bible alone, but also on trees, in the flowers, and clouds and stars.
Have you ever wondered why they stopped letting people pay for their sins? Well, it is because of Martin Luther. He glued 95 Theses to the chapel door, corrupting and quenching and corruption in the church. He was a German monk who was concerned about the scale of ignorance. He was excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church in 1521. Martin Luther died February 16, 1546, at the age of 62.
Martin Luther once said, "I cannot and will not recant anything against, for to go against conscience is neither right nor safe. Here I stand, I can do no other, so help me God. Amen." This is the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation.